Hi, and welcome once again to What's the Damage, companion show to the incredibly well-known and popular D&D, real play D&D show Roll for Damage. It's been a while, but we are now back. Our holiday break is over. Your holiday break is probably also over. I'm sure we're all very sad to be back at work, but we're not sad to be streaming live at you, our lovely viewers, on this lovely Tuesday night. It's rainy where I am. Hopefully it's less rainy where you are. Woo. So, to backtrack a little bit to last week, when we got back into the swing of things with the Shields of Twilight, who started off the new year by fighting some extremely gross undead baby things. Sinric finally got his wings. Everyone got almost blown up, a little bit blown up. There was an explosion of some sort. There was much discussion as to what the fuck everything meant. Um, Somebody just slammed their door. Viewers, we are alive to my apartment. Someone outside is being loud. Okay. Yeah, we'll be talking about all the events of Friday today on Tuesday. And then a little bit later, we're going to be talking about villains, antagonists, and BBEGs, aka everyone's second favorite type of NPC. The first favorite, of course, being that one shopkeeper the DM named Pickles because they couldn't think of a name fast enough. Love you, Pickles. As always, stick around after the stream for links and resources, brand new ones, since a whole heck of a lot has happened since we last spoke. I'm your host, Truth Venson, and this is What's the Damage? Welcome back. Joining me today are two of our wonderful players. We have Tick. We have Tick. We have a cameo by my neighbor's door. We have Tick, who plays Sinric, our favorite barbarian, and we have Caleel, who plays Baltaim, our favorite warlock. You guys had some fun. But first, I want to ask, how was your holiday break? Were you champing at the bit to get back to D&D, or it's nice to have some time off?
What time off?
What do we do? How do I D&D? How's that? How I do this?
How play?
I mean, you
How
put the thing in the tower and you let it fall.
I let
Are you
dice
sure?
numbers, right?
Oh, math. Good lord.
Math.
Slinky math rocks.
That was good.
I didn't have much of a break. I had to work pretty much the whole time.
Oh, I had a little bit of a break, but I was like also working both weeks. But I had like 2-3 day weekends in a row, so that was nice.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys fought some gross undead baby things. What's the damage?
I mean, I think that's about it. I mean, we got assaulted by floating dead babies that like turned to ash, and yeah, you don't see that every day.
Oh, you in fact do not see that every day. Yeah.
I mean, we're always trained that you shouldn't hit babies.
No, not in video games. Like all in video games and like tabletop games, you hit children like religiously. Like that's like the thing you do.
You just have to channel your inner South Park and play kick the baby on this last episode.
Babies and children in any type of like media are always just evil. So no, that's just no. You don't give children chances in like video games.
Always evil. No. Life advice from Caleel: children are always evil.
Are evil, yeah.
Always evil. Universally, always children at the core. Never. I can't think of a good child example. Anyway, so just before we went on break, you guys were confronted by a mysterious figure before the babies. This was before the babies, who taunted you and heavily implied that they had done something nasty to Dobby's soul, your dead friend. So your characters were probably the closest to the late lamented Dobby Pons. So what was that like for Sin and Ball, just to hear that?
That was rough for the character for the player Caleel, because the player Caleel was just like, I want to fucking shoot this asshole so badly because like I'm impulsive and like it's just like, oh, you're rubbing this in my face, and like I'm like, but would Balta you do this? I don't know. Like I was trying to, because like I knew it was like this is probably not a good idea for him to continue to be here. I would not want to fight this person that, I mean, we don't know for sure or not, but this star is here and there's like 3 like fucking exoteric alien babies, and he's just like, yeah, they're chill. And so I'm like, I don't know if I want him to be here, but like I was like, I want to shoot you in the face, dude. It was just so hard for me to not do, to not do that. And so that was difficult, but I was just like, I'm just going to bite my tongue and not do anything unless someone else does something stupid. Then I will be on board for the stupidity.
It was definitely a fight stack that we weren't going to win if we
attacked
that guy.
No, it was not.
Yeah, so it's like a later in the campaign fight.
If we actually do fight, I mean, it could be one of those situations. The whole soul eating caught me off guard because me as a player honestly thought we would probably end up seeing like evil Dobby down the road as like a future fight. And then to hear, soul eating, it's like, part of me was kind of disappointed we didn't see evil Dobby down the road for a fight, but it is what it is.
There's opportunities, who knows?
True. I mean, the guy could have just been saying that.
Yeah.
Because I think that was
all of it. He could have just had an appetizer. He had like
a little nibble.
The first like 22 years. Had the first couple of days.
Little bite.
The baby days.
A dainty nibble of your friend's soul.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it is because I think that would be a much better like party mess up situation.
I was honestly expecting one of the less closer characters to be insulted, because like I was expecting like Quinn or Oriana to just like do something stupid, on all honesty, because I think for Oriana especially, she has like this guilt, I feel like, or like this not guilt necessarily, but like she has a bad feeling about like the way she left things off, not being able to like come to understanding the person as Dobby. And so I honestly thought one of them would have done something like just stupid. And again, if they did something stupid, I would be like, the player was like, oh, this is dumb, we probably shouldn't do this. But like Ball Team was like, oh yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Stupid stuff, let's do it. I'm all for it.
Kill's like, yeah.
I think TPK in the middle of the session.
Probably would have stretched till the end, A nice way to start the new year, new party.
Exactly.
I think didn't Oriana try to stop him from teleporting away though?
Oh yeah, she did try to do that.
That didn't work because mechanically it
was that was the like. I don't know if I wanted to be here at the moment. I'm like, I don't think you should do that. Luckily, he was not in range.
Yeah, the fact that the guy was just so dismissive and just had the air of confidence with him, it was just one of those situations where it's like, we've already ran into that where Perry was very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Confrontational?
No, not rash, but yeah, I guess I'll just use
Irrational?
rash. Yeah, that attacking Liz,
Hmm.
and
Right.
look at how that turned out for us.
Right.
I mean, we're all
Yeah.
taken out in what, like 2-3 rounds.
Yeah, I think me or Campion was like the last two or last ones.
Yeah, so it's like one of those where it's like,
Let's think
maybe,
before we shoot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a pause here.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy obviously wasn't hostile towards us.
Right.
There could be
Not
something there.
actively, at least. Yeah.
Yeah,
We take those. We take those.
yeah, exactly. We just had to fight some dead babies.
Yeah.
And deal with the explosion.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So you
that's
can
that's
get-
good.
How did that taste?
Awesome. Yeah, so we've heard how you two felt about, but I kind of wanted to get a little bit of a glimpse into your characters as well. If they had like any kind of emotional reaction to this. Also, Tick, now that you've mentioned it, I also desperately want Evil Dobby. Just so you know, it had not previously occurred to me, but now I think that's the coolest
Now,
idea.
the question
You're welcome.
is, would evil Dobby just be good Dobby? Who's to say Dobby with us was not
Dobby
evil Dobby?
Oh wait, you're right, because he was like neutral, right?
Yeah,
so
you know,
what's the opposite?
Could be
Neutral.
good, you know?
It could go either way.
Yeah.
Like either it's like lawful good Dobby or like chaotic evil Dobby.
Yeah, I think Baltaim, like emotionally, he was like I think now thinking about it, he understood this was to get a rise out of people who were emotional. I think I think this was to get a rise out of probably Quinn or Perry, the more emotional-ish people, like led by their emotion-ish people in our group. Perhaps Cynric, but it seems like Cynric is he's emotional in like one sense, but he's also like wise beyond his years in a sort of sense. Like,
it did have a reaction, and I mean that should come out, and I guess depends on how much downtime we have in the next couple of sessions. That should come out.
Yeah, I think because we're just immediately just happened, even though we've had like a couple of weeks to like digest it as players, our characters haven't necessarily had time to digest it. I think Baltimore definitely took note of it and was like, that is something he's not going to forget that was said or was like that has been done, and is not going to sit well with him at all. Yeah.
Wait, how long has it been in-game time since you guys lost Dobby? Couple weeks?
I think it's been a couple weeks.
Yeah, maybe.
It has to be about at least two. I want to say 3.
It was in the desert when we lost him.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, with the wormy things. Oh, so that's actually very fresh still.
Yeah. So, and then we've been to like the temple and like the hunt thing. So yeah, it's probably been 3 weeks or so.
Cool beans. Okay, so tell me about the baby fights. Children are evil. These children were also disgusting and deeply disturbing. I assume none of your characters have ever seen anything like this out and out gross and weird and wrong and unnatural before. Have you?
Sure, my character's looked in a mirror before. Sorry, that was uncalled for.
Like, he has his shirt off. He's like, I should work out. He's like, this is gross. I need to work out.
But seriously, no, haven't seen anything like that before.
No, the only thing, like the closest thing would be like the undead for Baltimore, like skeletons and stuff like that. He's
brain in the jar.
Yeah, or the brain jar and stuff like that. But yeah, nothing like this, like weird, like extraterrestrial, like foreign thing like this. No.
Not to mention they were also like large. They were huge.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
Yeah.
Giant gross babies.
But it's okay. I got to fly, so I was happy.
That was wicked.
That was very fun. So why don't you actually tell me a bit about you experiencing the joys of flight? How long have you had that flying potion? Because I did not remember that was in your inventory.
I don't remember when
we got
I picked it up. Yeah, I think it was with the merchants. Was it?
Oh no. Was it?
Because I don't think we stole anything from
we didn't steal. No. We bought this potion.
Yeah, I've had it for a while.
This potion. But yeah, we've had it for, I think.
Because I did threaten to use it with the merchant situation. If it went south, I was just going to fly away from you guys.
Right. We've had
But
it for
it didn't go that far south.
I mean,
It didn't go that far south.
did it not? I mean,
It was
you
still a
guys,
net
you guys were
gain.
fine. Yeah.
I mean, it was still a net gain for, you know,
For you.
most of everyone involved.
Okay.
I mean, the city got more members of the Desert Rose.
No, it was just
True.
NPCs who died. We don't care about NPCs.
I mean, it was just, you know, the merchants.
Yeah, they're not real people.
The
Yeah.
ones that were left alive now know not to steal things or else they die.
At least from us.
So win-win.
It's a thief city. They have to steal stuff.
Hey, you know?
Amazing. Yeah, but tell me about being in flight and fighting. Like, how did that affect sort of your strategy as a player and the character?
See, I didn't really think about it all that much. I mean, flying would have been kind of with Cynric's past as far as being on water. I mean, you're kind of used to that motion, but not in water. So, I mean, like I say, I really didn't think about it too much as far as like, okay, this is the joy of flying. I mean, it was probably like an ends to a means or a means to an end. I can't talk. Words are hard. But yeah, seeing as how they were in the air, I mean, it was just like, oh, I have this will help. Because my other strategy I had in mind was to try and hit him with a grapple hook and pull him down.
Also could have been interesting.
I was
Very
upset
pragmatic.
by Cynric's flying. Very upset by it.
Why?
What's funny is you actually
I
have
could
wings.
not.
You can also get a flying potion if you want.
I know, but I was just like, man, I wish I
Mhm.
had not picked fucking spider climb and picked fly instead. That would be more useful.
You also have a range option right now.
Yeah, I did. That's why it's like
range.
it wasn't too bad. At least I could Eldritch Blast. So I was like, I could be doing so much more damage with my sword. Fuck.
I need like a repeating javelin or something.
Yeah.
Hey. Although actually Baltaim being what you are actually came kind of in clutch because you really could use that resistance to necrotic damage because you did get blown up a little.
I don't recall. When did that happen? When did I get blown up?
You know, just kind of like in the middle. There wasn't a big deal or anything.
Yeah.
No, it just, you know, took half your health.
Yeah, nobody even noticed. Wait, did it take like almost all of your health?
If I had.
Oh wait, no, you had like.
If I wasn't a Asmar, I would have taken 60 points of necrotic damage, and I had like 59 at that point. But luckily, I got half of it because I failed to save, and then I was resistant necrotic. So
awesome. Yeah. So did you just not notice the pulsing, or?
Yeah, but like, okay. In my
curiosity.
Mind, defend yourself.
Okay, I'm gonna defend myself here. In my mind, this rock is some cool shit. You know, there's something cool about this rock. You know, it's pulsing to release its coolness. You know, it's gonna like pulse and it's gonna have something cool like break open the egg part. It's gonna be like a sword or something. You know what I mean? Or like some like jewels. You know, I wasn't like, I mean, yeah, if you like, oh, a bomb, it's pulsing, sure. I mean, okay, that's the normal way of things doing it. But then I was thinking it's gonna be some like cool like
star metal ore.
That's okay. And honestly, I thought it was gonna be star metal. I just was like, I need this rock to be here because like we're gonna save this rock, and like 100 episodes down the line, we're gonna make some sword in the middle of a volcano with this metal that we like this ore that we got in this from this rock. And it's gonna be awesome.
And use that to slay evil Dobby.
Slay evil Dobby and this douchebag that was like, I ate Dobby.
Okay. No, I accept that. That's valid. Expect the unexpected, like star metal.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be useful later on. I mean, we'll find out. I have some of it.
Right, because did you get some of the rock or did you get some of like the crater?
The crater, the black stuff.
The black void.
Black stone glass stuff.
Yeah, that. Hopefully
we're
there's
really
no long-term
we're
effects.
really eloquent on this show. Like we all have like master's degree in classics and literature. You know.
Our writers are not off break. That's the secret, guys.
Yeah, our writers are
Supervised.
still on
The
vacation.
writers are still on break. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. That's what it is.
There we go. Blame the writers. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about what happened after the battle. So like sort of the episode was in two chunks. There was fighting babies and there was talking about fighting babies. So you guys sort of checked in with your patrons just to tell them what had happened, and give them an update and stuff. But I know something, which was that you were sort of told that this was your problem to fix because people were a bit busy. And I thought that kind of tied into what had happened a few episodes ago when Lex took back her communicator and was like, I'm going to push you guys out the nest. And I don't remember if I asked you two about this before, but I kind of wanted to get Baltaim's and Sinric's viewpoints on becoming more independent as a party, sort of striving off on your own and not relying on people.
I mean, at the conclusion of this fight, I mean, this was me kind of going back to digging back into my head, going more into soldier roots, where it's we don't understand this, let's vacate the area, regroup, and then the whole reporting to Aaron, in my opinion, being the most qualified, because we're not qualified to take down this messenger. They're clearly stronger than we are, and they're working on this just as well. So it's better to at least report findings that we know, and now everyone's on the same page, regardless of who's responsible for what. I mean, if we all have the same information, that's why the foot soldier reports to the superiors.
Yeah,
valid.
I agree with him in that sense. I think Baltimore there was no issue with reporting for Aaron because this is something they have previously dealt with or had some. We don't know the exact story of how they've done it before, but the person who was sent to us seemed more of on their level than on our level. So it was do you have any information on this? And what is this? Is this new? Has this happened before? Or is this some special circumstance with us? And he report also because we need to know. The more information you have, the better information we have, and stuff like that. Baltine has not really been a fan of relying on others to do things that he sees in his view we could have done in some sense with our own, or perhaps without getting in debt with someone. It seemed we were on baby leashes, in a sense. We were putting leashes on ourselves,
training wheels.
Yeah, training wheels on ourselves. We were trying to if we have this mommy and daddy are here, in our minds we'll always just resort to mommy and daddy, but but in his mind, if we could deal with this in our own way, then that's the first option we could take, is try to deal with this in our own way. And then if all fails, after we fail, though, that's the point. We didn't even give our chances the opportunity to fail and learn, and then either regroup or understand that, we failed, we can't do it, we can't do this, or this is not possible with help or assistance. Then that's what the issue what he had with always contacting Lex or Aaron or getting in debt with those cast of characters.
People, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, me as a player, it's funny to call Lex for things.
Oh no, yeah. And as a player, it's funny
hilarious.
to call Lex for things as well. But that's
Mama Lex.
Player, though.
Just because she's volatile.
Yeah.
I mean, she's helpful but volatile.
Well, she hasn't
So it's
shot any of you yet. So.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
That we know of. She may have missed on
Wouldn't
purpose.
you know?
I mean, the only people she's consistently called dumb fucks is Oriana and Quinn or Dobby, or no, Dobby, Dobby and Oriana.
I think she's called all of us at some point.
Yeah. Collectively as a group. Dumb fucks.
You're right. I don't think she's singled you guys out.
Cynric, you're just dumb as shit. Baltine, you're just dumb as shit. No, Oriana, you're a dumb fuck.
Amazing. Hey, she calls it like she sees it.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, Baltine likes honest, like brutally honest, like he doesn't want to be like he doesn't want misconstrued like construing of things. Just like, hey, tell me how you see it. If I see something differently, that's cool. But hey.
Collectively, we have been pretty dumb.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. That's yeah.
Oh, it's been very fun from the outside. Just watching, like, oh guys, oh y'all.
I mean,
wonderful.
We are getting better. I'll say that. I mean, even this last episode, definitely very better.
I don't want to like criticize you guys. I've been very much enjoying seeing just you guys bumble around and occasionally do things right, sometimes do things wrong. That's part of a story, like making mistakes, fixing those mistakes, making more mistakes while fixing the first mistakes, like life.
Exactly. It's trial by fire.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And if we fail, we get our soul eaten.
Yeah.
By the reject member of KISS.
Yeah.
You know what? This one was too cool for KISS. Okay, they rejected KISS.
That's fair.
I'll agree to disagree.
That's what they tell people, at least. Awesome. Okay. So during the whole post-battle, postmortem, I guess, the post-battle postmortem, I'm trying to make a dead baby joke, but I can't come up with it. If you come up with a good dead baby joke, so if in here, please put it in the chat. So in the postmortem, you guys
slaughtering.
Yes, in the postpartum, it's a terrible joke. I'm sorry. You come up with some very interesting ideas as to what the fuck was up with the Rock and the babies and the KISS reject and the general bad vibes of the place, including theories such as the meteor might be some kind of egg, or that was fun.
I was hoping. I really was.
Why? Why would you hope that?
Might be.
Because it would be like really creepy, and it would fit the vibe of everything going on.
But I like as a player, sure, but I don't. I'll see no sort of that. No.
And then I had the idea that maybe this was the spaceship that the Flumps came in on, and that
would
make a lot of sense. Well,
that'd been cool.
That was more me wishful thinking too. I mean.
Okay. Beltane wants star medal. Sinric wants a nice big omelet. So do you guys feel like you're getting closer to like kind of uncovering the mysteries of what the heck Tharizdun is even up to? Is this a puzzle piece? Is this just like a little incident that I
feel like this is an hors d'oeuvre.
An hors d'oeuvre.
I mean that's
I think I don't know. I think it's more simple. Like I think it's just like he I think it's like we've already been like I think we already know what he like kind of wants. We might not know the details or like how he wants to do it, but like he just wants to break the shackles to become here. He wants to be here. Like I feel like it's like simple, but it's like one of those things. Like it's so simple. It's like how can you fuck yourself up by thinking something else because it's not at all what you think, and it's like you're like I mean, it would make sense for Tharizdun. Like he's like making you like so like anxiety and like so much like despair that you're like, there's so many ways you can fuck us up, and it's like, no, bro, I just want to be here. Like you're just like you're over here running all this like bullshit, and you're like you're tripping yourself out.
He just wants to come enjoy like a spot of tea with us,
Yeah.
Tharizdun shows up. He just throws a picnic. That's it, and he goes home.
Yeah.
He just wants to hang out, okay? He just wants to come and like have a little vacation.
He's just misunderstood. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, it would fit with the overall theme of how gods have been treated in this game.
Yeah, we are being kind of curtailed to like a gray area.
Yeah, I don't know about this one though. Seems a little tad bit evil. Just my point of view, just a little bit.
He's locked up. I mean, is it that evil to want to be free?
It is when you want to destroy the other part. And, he might not want to destroy everything, and he might be like, "Hey, bro, like I'm just trying to chill. I'm on winter break. I just want to come out, have some tea. I'll go back after this. We might be cool with
Just
that.
don't put the chains in, otherwise it's kind of cozy.
Yeah, it might be cool with that.
I love it. You're gonna defeat Thor's dream by giving him a nice cup of tea.
I mean, stranger things have happened. You never know. It could work.
This is true. D&D is scientifically the weirdest game there is. Anyway, it's real science, guys. Right, so I think with that, that's actually a pretty good segue into our topic for the day, which is bad guys. Yay! Yes, so we're going to talk about villains, antagonists, big bads, BBEGs, whatever you want to call them. So my first question for you two is, what makes a good D&D villain? The broadest possible sense. Expand on that.
Like, the way I see it, if you play a D&D game and like the D&D or the DM like says, all right, this player pull him aside, all right, you're part of the group, but you're secretly like the big bad evil guy. Ooh. Except the DM does that to every single player.
Ooh. I'm down for that campaign.
And then that would be like the ultimate big bad evil guy. Because it's like everyone's fighting to be who's the most evil. But to pretend to be not evil.
So they're all just that would be so fun for like a short game. Like you just spend the whole time Libra.
Yeah, it'd be Among Us.
Oh yeah.
In Among Us, so you only have 2 villains.
But it's everyone's an imposter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no one else knows that everyone's an imposter.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
That's so cool. Maybe for Halloween we can do that next year. Next Halloween game.
Just all imposter. D&D.
Would have to be like next Halloween. That way we all forget about it.
Yeah. There you go. We'll put it up. We'll make a note of it somewhere. Interesting.
I think just like in general, like arrogance makes a good bad guy. Like your bad guy has to like believe so deeply in their character, like their core, that they are the right, like in the right. Mm-hmm. For most, like it depends on like the shade of villain you're trying to go, because there's like the comic book villain, like like I'm so evil, but like a good, like some, like the most good villains, like I'm evil because you see me as evil, and my point of view, you're evil or you're wrong. It's not even like good or evil. It's like, no, you're just wrong. You don't see like what I see. You don't see the world in this view, and like the arrogance to have that, like you are right. It's like a good point, like a point for a good villain, I feel.
So you like villains who are the heroes of their own stories?
Yeah, because it just makes it a little bit more believable, and it's more like you can't have like the well, I'm gonna talk to you for hours about your philosophy and like tell you why your philosophy is wrong, because like no, I believe like they believe it, so it's like you can't really like persuade them to like disbelieve their own point of view. You know what I mean?
That's kind of even more still bordering on like that gray area even that we're exploring, with some of these stories. I mean, I kind of like the idea of a villain that used to be like the hero on a story.
Yeah.
Where you see like I don't want to say, I guess I'll say the evolution of the character, because the character is technically evolving, but to see their point of view shift from one kind of line on the aspect to another, and have the ability to question, it's like, are they right, are they wrong? I mean, stuff like that. If it makes you think, I think it's got qualities of a good villain.
I have always thought it was really cool when like a villain has a coherent position that you can understand.
Yeah.
Like if you don't really agree with it, you can see why they think that. Yeah. I've always thought that's really interesting. Yeah.
I also think like a villain should probably specialize in something. Like, I mean, in the sense of D&D, like a villain should be definitely like above all else, either, like charismatic, intelligent. They should have like something that they kind of like specialize in that kind of sets them at the top of their field. I mean, it's like that way they have a weakness, they could be taken down in some form, but they also have that strength that has brought them to where they're at.
Nice. Okay. So obviously, like in the source books, there are quite a few like different villains from different modules, from just like the general flavor of the books. Do you have like any favorite canon evil characters from like the D&D
Oh,
universe?
why are
I
you doing
mean,
this to me?
my my favorite evil person, it's not even like a bad villain or a good villain, I should say, but it's one of the villains in the what is it, the Lost Mines of Phandelver
Huh.
module, that first bugbear you come to, just because it's so brutal of a fight, and the fact that it's like a beginner's module, and this villain can straight up like kill you in one hit. And it's just kind of funny. It's just one of the characters that's responsible for the most player deaths in
Aw.
D&D.
Oh man.
Oh, that bugbear. I've never played Mines of Foundel.
Yeah, it's like a level 1 through 5
Yeah, I'm
pre-made campaign.
familiar. Yeah.
And I think it's like you go into that fight at like level 2, and it's a bugbear that can like do as much as your health at that level.
I'm having like
Love
an
it.
existential crisis right now.
Why?
I'm trying to run through like the books and like think of like the big bad evil guys in those books.
I mean,
I'm like,
even
Oh,
going to the books.
no,
Sorry, go on.
the Drow. Who's the Drow guy? The
Which one?
Draxel.
Dritz or Jarlaxle.
Draxel. He's a cool
That's
guy.
it.
He's cool.
See, I don't think he would be a villain though.
But yeah, he's
He was more of a he was a mercenary at the beginning.
yeah,
And
it's
just
hard.
kinda-
It's
yeah.
hard because that whole like thing is like it's like Xanthar's the villain, right? I guess.
I would say like in those stories, like what's her name, Matron Byrne or whatever her name was. She was definitely like even the high priestesses under her. When I was reading those, I'm like, "Who crap? These are scary people."
Nice.
Other than that, I guess Demogorgon's pretty cool and the Abyss thing, right? But you're not really supposed to fight Demogorgon, right? You like
Maybe you
shouldn't do
can.
that.
You can.
You can, but it's like
You can.
heavily advised, like not to fight him, right? So I guess that's kind of cool, or he's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as like pre-made stuff, Tiamat has always been cool, but then again, I've always been a fan of like dragon stuff.
Yeah.
So you know that kind of sticks out to me. Although I would consider her probably more of like a Hydra than a dragon.
The Vanessa or Valandra Shadowmantle in like one of the books, or like in the books, she's an elf, like she's the elf, like she's a lich, but it's like the elven version of a lich.
Oh, Belnorn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's pretty cool. She's like a arcane like brotherhood like villain. She's pretty cool.
I think even going to the books, like the Salvatore line, the best villain, what's Dritz's rival, Artemis Centrari, the rogue. Because I mean that was just a character that like straight up instilled fear, like even reading, a teen book on how he approached situations. So, like methodical, and it's just Of course, there's one really big bad villain that no one's mentioned yet that I think is like top of the line.
Who?
Strahd.
But Strahd's so sexy though. Is he really a villain?
But that's like, epitome charismatic like vampire.
I mean,
I'll say though, Strahd's just
sexy
Dracula.
vampire?
Strahd's just Dracula though.
But it's got that horror appeal to it. I mean, it really does. It's like you get the sense of like helplessness right from the get-go.
Yeah.
This charismatic person,
Who just runs rings around you.
Yeah. You also get that sense of like when you actually read like the character history and stuff.
I would like to argue that everyone else in that book is a villain. Strahd's not a villain. Strahd's just misunderstood.
I mean,
yourself.
You do kind of have a point.
Strahd's background is like his brother has betrayed him. Like,
no, it isn't. He betrayed his brother.
Or
about
he's on a quest to find his reincarnated love.
Yeah,
they fell in love with the same lady. His brother was going to marry
his brother, but in his mind though,
him.
in his mind that's betrayal because he fell in love with Tatiana though. You know what I mean? Like.
That's in his brain though.
Yeah, but like the
perception can be a thing.
Yeah,
that's true. I know, because like I've read Of course, Estrada, obviously. I think in the book he's a little flat as a villain, to be honest.
Yeah.
See, I
Yeah.
didn't read the book. I went through most of the campaign.
Mhm.
I mean, it's been a while since
But-
I've read the book, but
Yeah, but obviously sexy vampires are the
Alright.
classic villain, or one of the classic villains. Not
Just gonna
necessarily
say,
for
as long as they
D&D, but
don't
in
sparkle,
general.
they're okay.
You know what if it was a really scary kind of sparkling though, you know? Like just some weird eldritch glitter.
can sparkling be scary though?
I mean,
We did have some like void sparkle stuff from the guy that, you know, like his
That's
clothes
true.
kind of had
Yeah,
that.
he did. Yeah, that's true. I guess that can be
there
scary.
you go. Yeah, it's like glitter, but
Yeah.
it hurts to look at.
Hey, that's the first. Glitter scary.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm terrified of glitter. You ever tried combing glitter out of a beard?
That's
oh
true.
my God.
Yeah.
I've still got glitter on my carpet from taking down my Christmas tree, like, and vacuumed so many times. Glitter's the real villain. Anyway, so as players, what makes like a big bad, or even a small bad, like fun to engage with and to come into conflict with, like in the actual play?
Oh, I love asshole villains. Like I love those that just like have something to say to you while they're fighting you. Like a villain that's just like, like that, like what the villain just did to us, like was like, oh yeah, I hope you enjoyed like I enjoyed eating Davi's soul. Like that's like good like villainy when it's like I have a quip for whatever you want to say to me, or like how you like when we talk, like we have like a rapport of like, oh fuck you, and we're like, oh fuck you too, buddy. You know, we're just like there's just like this
Little
it's like
banter.
back and forth, little banter. Yeah, this
Yeah.
banter going on with the villain, the characters. I love that.
You feel justified when you kill him.
Yeah,
'Cause he was
if the
rude.
villain's just like, I do this because I'm evil, and it's like I don't really want to talk to you, but I was like, oh well, I guess I just killed him. Cool, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to add to that. I mean, it's pretty good as far as engagement. I mean, things that offer challenge are definitely good.
Yeah.
The taunting definitely is fun because, I mean, like I said, it gives you that justification to push forward.
Drives you onward. Gives you that righteous fury. Awesome. Okay. So I want to now talk about like how we approach villains and big bads as DMs. So what goes into like designing like the main arch villain for a campaign if there is a single person who serves that role?
It can be easy or difficult depending, because one just the realism of like how long is this campaign gonna last? How long are these players gonna be here? Are these characters gonna be here? So it's kind of difficult in that sense. If like you have like most games like level 10 is like the cap for a lot of these games. Like sometimes they're not getting to this mid to late game, so it's kind of hard to like plan for what's the villain going to be for this like mid tier game. But if you already have like a bad guy in mind, and these characters are going to be here, it's a bit easier. It's a little bit dependent on like the characters' backstories. Obviously, there's some characters might not have as much conflict in their stories and stuff like that, so there might be like an arc big bad evil guy, like this is tied to their story, and like for this arc there might be like a big bad evil guy and you'll have to deal with this, but it's like not necessarily related or even had anything to do with like the overall story's big bad evil guy. And so it could be and that can be even kind of difficult too, because like if that arc doesn't get wrapped up necessarily in that evil guy or whatever was like still out there, they can, with like the way that it develops, could eventually turn into like another arc big bad evil guy and be like, oh, like you could like, oh, it can make sense for him to be the ending of like the story because like he already has this rapport and he already has this chapter with the group or the characters, and it's like, well, he could easily become the new end game boss now.
Mhm.
So it's kind of it can be lucid at times, depending on like the group and stuff like that, I would say.
Gotcha.
I mean, I kind of have to go back to my schooling roots and say that it's more or less like when you design something like that, it's a spider web, but not like a pristine, pretty spider web, like one that someone, stuck their finger through and you got some missing stuff going on. Because at the center of the story, you kind of have like the villain you create, like the big bad evil guy from the idea. And then you have all these different threads that branch out to create like your sub arc. But at the end of the day, there's always a line back to trace everything back to the center. I think that's kind of, you need some type of webbing to kind of bring everything, full circle, bring everything around. Otherwise, it's like you're running through, and even video games kind of have this issue where they create like a side quest over in this area that makes absolutely no sense to what's going on with everything else. And you kind of just do it because you're there. Which, I mean, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but having those threads that kind of feed in, gives it a fun, kind of take when you do finally get to the center of that web and you're like, oh crap, this is what we've been doing.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. But I think it's definitely, probably built around that center, even if, quote unquote, the first season might not show it, but like that kind of like first arc leads up into what you're doing. And then you start picking up those thread pieces as to what's going on. And by the end of, the campaign, you have everything kind of flushed out and built out, hopefully. Or you could just get really lucky. And
yeah, you could just stumble into it. It looks the same from the outside.
Yeah, I mean, that's the best thing about being a demon. Like, you have the power of literally hindsight. Like, you can like foreshadow in the future, essentially. Like, you can well, I can see now there, like, since things like, because you can't plan out like this is going to happen and this is going to happen. The players are so fucking like they do so many things that you just don't expect. But you can but I can see how this connects to this, and I can foreshadow this to this, like now, so because you have the hindsight to be like, this, like, I didn't know you guys were gonna do this, but like I can take this piece and just like string it into like now what this bad guy was gonna do, and it's like, they were in the city, they saw you burn down the village church, and now they're like upset because you are the ones that burnt down their God's church. Like, there's like, you can just string it into another thing because you have the power of hindsight, and you can just even if it wasn't like the first thought you had of that character, it's like, well, now I just amend this little thing and just put it into this, and now it's like it's a part of this character too, and now it's more like lore for that character for one too. It's like, well, now they have another loaded clip for the players because of whatever XYZ they did, even if it seemed like in the moment to them, they didn't really like, they were like, we're getting some gold for side quests and stuff,
Yeah,
so
you can retroactively go back and be like, this is my plan all along.
Yeah, that's always just the deal. It's like, I've always been playing this for like years. It's like
playing 5D chess.
What's that Google Drive? It was written like yesterday. It's like, hold on, wait.
So what you're saying is all those merchants we murdered are actually going to come back and be like the horsemen of our demise at the final arc.
They can try.
Yeah, them and Ghost Dobby are gonna beat the final boss. This comes after you defeat Tharizdun. Like
the closing note of this campaign is just everyone be pissed off from every city.
Oh my god. Oh no, I'm having a vision. Okay, so you guys like in the middle of a big field, like bloody and exhausted, having just defeated Tharizdun. Then in the distance you hear this rumble. It's an army of everyone you've ever made angry here to kick your ass.
You broke my store.
Where's that potion of flying again?
Amazing. Yeah, the big bad's actually going to be everyone else.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So as DMs, do you guys have like, what's the funnest type of villain to play? Do you have like one that you default to using over and over again? Or like a certain style of villainry?
The funnest one is the enemy that they do not know is the enemy. The enemy that is your friend. is
The
Funnest
charismatic one, more or less.
Not even charismatic, just like
Yeah.
you like they just. I mean, they necessarily doesn't have to be lying. It's just like they're just like, well, they think you're ally with them, and you don't realize that they are not who they seem to be.
It's like your goals line up kind of currently.
Yeah, for currently, and they might not tell you about what they like, what they want to do or all they planning to do. But it's like, you've helped me do something in your mind, and in my mind, it's helping each other out. But we're diverging on this path after this. Yeah.
Kind of like the Bane situation.
Yeah.
See, I like villains that focus, like I said earlier, kind of like the specialty thing. Like, I mean, I would like a villain that's either, you know, super strong, like you have that stereotypical like orc village where the leader is that super strong, you know, I'm, you know, the leader of this village because no one can best me in a fight. And, you know, stuff like that is a cool angle to play because, I mean, it is one dimensional, but it gives players like a clear path to say, all right, I mean, this guy obviously has weaknesses here, but sometimes it's more fun for players to play at the strength of a villain as opposed to a weakness. So it kind of gives, you know, players that opportunity to feel whether it's stronger, smarter, you know, more charismatic, more intelligent, then, you know, it gives them that opportunity to feel like they're better than the villain in, you know, not like, well, yeah, it kind of has that sense, but
yeah. Well, I think generally when you are designing like villains for the players to come up against, usually they will be significantly stronger than the player characters, at least individually, because, you know. Yes, I kind of wanted to ask about what goes into designing like a big boss mechanically. Like you were talking about having them have some kind of specialization. I think Caleel was too, and like them having some kind of weakness. So there's something interesting about them, mechanically wise or fight wise.
Yeah, I think not necessarily. I don't know. I don't know if you necessarily should like at some point should like maybe at lower levels have like a mechanic where if like there's a weakness to them because it will get you like to explore like other options of like dealing with just rolling damage like there's a crystal or something like that, or something like at a lower level, like, oh, there's a gem on his head, like if you break it, it might send him to like where he can't cast spells, or he's now he can't see or something like that. Maybe not like higher levels where there's a mechanically weakness to him. Like also like, you know, gameplay wise, there was going to be a weakness to any type of like class necessarily, or like, you know, fight or stat block. But I think, yeah, just something like where there's something that's they're more like, I don't know, like there's something to another dimension of them, like other than just fighting them, other than just like even like the layer mechanics would be cool. Like, you know, like maybe if you're like a Lich's layer or something like that, you might need to turn off some of the like magic jars for stopping from healing or like stuff like that. Like that would be, that's cool. Stuff like that. Like that's like another like layer that I think like should be thought of, because like if it's just like attack, I attack, you attack, it's like, well, I mean, you can just mechanically
it's a little flat.
Yeah, a little flat.
Yep. I think having a way out is a good thing for a villain, especially in lower level encounters, and to have a reason for that villain to use that way out, as opposed to the final encounter having a reason for that villain to not have a way out or to have a reason to stay into the fight.
Yeah, I will admit that's something I've learned over the years too. Like just because they're the last boss doesn't mean they should be the last boss. You know what I mean? Like they if your boss is a smart person, and they might not be smart, so they might not have a way out necessarily. I thought of one, but if like they're a fucking lich, there's like traps and shit. You did all the traps, but they don't have a exit to get out of their castle if they were ever attacked by anything. No, they should probably just like, yeah, peace out, I'm gone, see you fuckers. And
or they might at low levels, I mean, they might even show themselves and even engage with you. And if you do like say 50 points of damage, 100 points of damage based on your level, it activates like a threshold that's like, you know, this is fun, but I'm
but I gotta go.
Bye. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I kind of picture something like that, and yeah, I'm gonna go there. But Overlord, the anime, where the main character kind of masquerades using his weakest stats as pretending to be a fighter for most of the show, whereas he's this like supreme magic caster class. So I mean, I picture like that would also make go into making a good villain, where hey, this guy seems like really powerful, and then by the end of the campaign, he's like, haha, by the way, that's just my weakest form. So I mean, stuff like that's kind of cool because it creates like a sense of helplessness, and also opens up to like future arcs and stuff like that.
So a little bit of a Dragon Ball Z thing going on.
Yeah, sorta, yeah.
A little bit.
Except they physically just didn't transform. They're just, fighting you at like their weakest skill.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like a mage fighting with a sword.
Got you. That is cool. Because then you have the realization, oh, this is already kind of hard.
Yeah.
But this isn't how strong they are. Oh,
yeah. I mean, can you imagine like a wizard or a sorcerer fighting a group of adventurers with like a sword at, like level 2 or 3 or even 5, and it comes close to killing the party, and when it does a certain threshold, the guy's like, this is just kind of fun. See you later. Yeah, or that big reveal where it's like, he throws off the armor and he's got the robe and the staff, and all of a sudden, sends out like
his pointy hat out, and he's like, I'm not fucking around anymore.
All right, power word kill.
Yeah.
Power word kill, power word kill, power word kill.
And something like that would be a good incentive for a party, especially if they did something like that to an important NPC or something.
Interesting. Okay, I think we have time for one more question. So, how do you introduce like a BBEG into the story? Obviously, they need to make an impression. I think you both were talking about like kind of leaving little breadcrumbs or bits of spider silk to lead people there so that everything comes together as soon as you meet them. But like, at what point during the story should you introduce the person who's going to become the big villain in the end? Like, is there a certain point where you do it, or
I think the more important thing to do is to not introduce the big bad evil guy last. And when I say that, I mean, don't like physically introduce them, early in the game. Like, for example, with us, we know at the end of the day, we're going against, Thursday. We know, that character, we might not know him intimately, but we know of them. We've been kind of introduced to the idea and the concept of what that character is.
But if we're like the last dungeon, it's like, oh, by the way, this is the Temple of Tharizdun, and you just like, we just like, wait,
what?
Yeah.
Wait, what? Yeah, it's like, well, wait, who's the guy before? What was he doing? Oh yeah, he's a cleric of Tharizdun, but like, he didn't show it. Like, he didn't tell you. He was like,
I think any time before then would essentially be kind of appropriate, because it kind of introduces the whole story along. Well, not introduces, but like kind of coaxes it along.
I think when it's a plot element, early on is pretty like in Strahd, like I think you meet Strahd like very, very soon, and like
really soon.
The first chapter, right? And like Strahd's just like there like the whole campaign, and like it's just like it helps the payoff of like, you finally got this fucker Strahd after like chapters of like him just beating our ass and like playing with us and just like taunting us and like being a dick. Yeah, just like, well, it kind of just helps the payoff. I think if it's more like, since like Tharizdun is more esoteric because he's like locked, he's like the locked away demon. So like going like through ambassadors and like messengers and stuff like that. So it's like, you haven't seen this character yet. You don't necessarily know him, but like we've like heard and like we know of him, and like we've seen things being involved with him, and like know the lore around him. So it's like, it's helping build more and more on top of it. So it's like, well, when we get to him, it's like, even though we haven't seen him all, it's like, well,
we still kind of know him.
Guy. Yeah, this is the guy, and like this is it. So I think it doesn't have to be like super right away, because like, again, your things can change, and you can ultimately like be like, oh, this is like this was my big bad evil guy, but he's kind of more of a mid card guy. So it's like, I'll put him in the mid card, and then like my real big bad evil guy can still be like part of this, and like has like he's been like just like been stacking on because like now you know of him, and then like he like this is something above this, so it's like still kind of related in a way. But to be able to just to having the chaining of events, so it's like it's not just out of nowhere. It should just be out of nowhere. It shouldn't be like, oh, we're fighting Strahd, and then it's like, well, actually, the real bad guy is Werkainen, the wizard in the cave and then the lake. He's actually the real bad evil guy.
I mean, that'd be kind of interesting because you do get introduced to that character
right, but it's like out of nowhere. He just posts past things like, I was faking all along. Here I am. I'm like,
I'm not crazy. I'm evil.
Yeah. Like, no, go back to your lake house. Go.
As long as you don't pull like a Final Fantasy IV with, the villain, I think you're okay.
Yeah. Where it's like the last 10 minutes, it's like, hey, this is the evil guy.
I mean, you go through the whole game believing Golbez is the big bad villain.
Yeah,
and
it's like
the last 10 minutes of the game, you're on the moon fighting some guy you never even heard of.
Yeah. Or honestly, like I'm thinking of like the second, was it the first season? I was thinking the first season of Luke Cage, where they get rid of Diamondback and introduce the new guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they got rid of Cottonmouth and introduced Diamondback, and I just thought that was such a glow down when it comes to villains.
Yeah. It kind of
was. And there's no hint of him before they decided to introduce him mid-season. It was like, oh my god, come on.
It's okay. It's okay to not like if it's okay also like if you're like your planned big bad evil guy wasn't isn't what you wanted, and like oh there's more to your story left still. It's okay to have that, and it's like, but it's like it shouldn't just be at like, oh I need to like add to Raskin here now because that wasn't like a good payoff. Like as long as you just have like, even if from that, like from where you ended it, as long as you can chain some more events to where there's some lead up to another like villain, if that's what you want to do, if like your ending was not how you want to be it, like it just needs to be some chain of events or some like linking of story points to this new thing. It needs to
make narrative sense.
Right. Just to be like, oh, I guess Strahd wasn't that good, I'm gonna throw it to Raskin. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you don't just do that. Like the land that Barovia's on, you come to find out in Strahd's like book is like, oh, there's a terrace that's in the land, and like then there's something you like, oh, then I can do a terrace there. Like, but it can't just like there's a terrace now. Cool.
Enjoy this. Awesome. Okay, that is our time. Thank you both so much for coming on here and talking about bad guys with me. I love villains. You love villains. We all love villains. And thank you to our viewers. Welcome back. I hope you had a good holiday. Hope you had a safe holiday. Hope you continue to have a safe whatever. Hope you're not in DC right now. If you are, sorry. Stay safe out there. Thank you to Sunbird and Lady Meows for doing our doing our title card and our music. Couldn't pull that word for a second. Stick around after the show for links and resources. And good night. We'll see you next week. Bye.